Hello, welcome to the Style series with myself, Natalie Walton. And this training is about the simple formula that you really need to know to improve any skill. And it really is important because we all want to get better and improve at what we're doing. It's part of the human condition. We are evolutionary beings. We need to grow and evolve, yet so often we can get stuck. And so I'm going to share with you a really simple formula for success. So, this is for you if you want to get better and improve at your skill, at your craft, at the thing that you love and that you're passionate about. It's for you if you want to get unstuck. Maybe you've got certain thoughts that are holding you back and they keep going and swirling around in your head, and it just feels draining and you want to get past that. And it's also for you if maybe you just don't know what to do. You're not sure of your next best move, and I really trust that this is going to really help you. But the truth is that you might not want to hear this. However, it's really good for you. It's like the best medicine. It's a simple formula and it will teach you how you can become successful at something that you really love and you're passionate about, how you can stand out from the crowd, and how to ultimately make a living doing what you love. It's simple, really simple, but not always easy. Let me share it with you. The success formula is quantity times time equals skill. So, what does this mean? I told you it was simple. If you want to be good at anything, you need to do something a lot consistently to improve. That is, that we need to do the repetition, we need to do the work, and we need to do it over a time frame, over a time period. And that is how we get better any particular skill. Now, the problem is that so often, and there's so much rhetoric online about, to get really good at something, you can happen overnight. Well, the truth is that that is just not true. We don't get better instantly. We need to have to do the work and we need to do it consistently if we want to improve at anything. So, who does this help? This helps you if you're an interior designer, if you're a stylist, if you're a photographer, artist, fashion designer, musician, writer. It basically helps anyone who wants to do something of any significance. What does it make possible? It is how you can get more clients and better clients. It is how you can get magazine features and magazine covers. It's how you can get those dream projects and dream clients, financial and creative freedom. All of these things are possible when we follow this formula, and yet we don't. And we're going to look at the reason why. And quite simply, it's because sometimes it can feel boring to do repetitive work. But repetitive work is how we improve, even if it is something that we really love. Let me give you some examples of how this works out. The Rolling Stones. How many times do you think that they have played Satisfaction? But they do the work. This is how they have created a legacy. This is how they still sell out stadiums, even when they're in their 70s and beyond. What about Picasso? He did the work, the same work over and over and over again. That is how you improve any skill. Ask any creative who is at the top of their field. They do the work, the repetitive work, day in, day out. They don't wait for inspiration to strike. They show up and they do the work. They show up consistently. They treat their work as a professional. And that is the key to getting better at any particular thing. So, think about your favorite creative on Instagram. How many times do you think they've shown up to do the work? They're reaching millions because they're doing the same thing over and over again. And with each iteration, they're getting better and better. They become the best in their field. This is how it works. It's like I said, it is a really simple formula. Yes, they might have some innate talent, but they still have to apply themselves. They've had to do the work. And that might have got them noticed initially, some kind of initial talent, but to get to that higher level, to get on the magazine covers, to get the clients with deep pockets, they've got to really apply themselves and do it over a long period of time. So that is why it pays to do what you love, because it is something that you're going to have to apply over and over and over again. So the truth is that repetition leads to refinement. And this is why it's so important that we need to play the long game when it comes to doing what we love. We need to take a long game view of it, but we need to show up consistently in the day to day. It's almost like a contradiction, but it's the truth. Now, there are three dream stealers that get in our way, and they are known as the motivational triad. This was the work of Dr. Douglas Leal, and he spent a couple of decades researching and studying how we've evolved from a psychological point of view. And he boiled it down to this idea, which, as I said, he named the motivational triad, because basically we are wired to pursue pleasure, avoid pain, and conserve energy. They are the three things that are at the core of who we are as human beings. So let's just take a look at how this shows up for so many people, all of us. We've all gone through this stage of, just pursuing pleasure. What does that look like? It looks like spending too much time on social media. It looks like spending too much time on Netflix, eating too much of the wrong foods, or drinking too much. The list goes on and on. Think about what you were doing just for the pure sake of pleasure that is actually stealing your dreams, that is holding you back, that it feels safe, it feels comfortable, but ultimately it is the thing that is stealing your dreams. We also, another dream stealer, is we do things to avoid pain. In particular, we are always trying to avoid discomfort. Think of the many ways that you avoid discomfort in your day to day life. Maybe it's not showing up on social media. We know we need to do that to grow our business. We know we need to do it to get more reach and get those clients that we ultimately want, but we don't. Or maybe we want to live in a clutter-free home, but we don't do the things that we know that will get the results. We don't go through the discomfort of deciding which things we're going to keep and which things we're going to let go of. Or maybe we know that really we need to charge our value. We need to ask to be paid what we are worth, but we don't, because we want to avoid the discomfort of asking. We want to avoid the discomfort of awkward conversations. The list goes on and on. But just a little side note, this is all in our mind. It's all the stories that we tell ourselves, the beliefs that we have ourselves. And nobody cares as much as what we do. We create this drama in our own minds, but really, it's all to do with us and how we think and how we feel. It's not based on fact. We also, another dream stealer is we conserve energy. So this looks like when we don't take action, or we don't get up to do the morning yoga, or we don't create that website, or don't email those potential clients. Again, the list goes on and on. This is how we are wired. So we have to be intentional in terms of how we overcome that. I know from my own experience, this has shown up when I was working on my first book, This Is Home. I felt a huge amount of resistance, and I thought that I was a good writer. I'd been a journalist for more than 15 years at that point. But writing that first book was one of the hardest things I've ever done. And in actual fact, writing all of my books has been hard. I've really had to push myself and dig deep because I really wanted to simplify how you can create a home that makes you feel good and simplify the process of living more sustainably within our homes and styling them to create beauty in a way that doesn't mean that you have to do expensive renovations. And so there was some days where I really felt resistance to write. But in that resistance, that is where our best work is, because it is something, when we feel that resistance, it's because we care. It's because we want to do a good job. It's because we want to, do work that is meaningful. And I know that I've definitely felt that with creating my books, that really wanting to put something out into the world that I feel like is adding value. But I felt so much resistance in the writing of the process, particularly the first one, where I really struggled to find my voice. But how do you find your voice? You do it by showing up. You do it by showing up every day and just putting one word in front of the other until you start to get sentences and then paragraphs and then pages. And eventually it comes out. It doesn't come out by just sitting there and looking at a blank screen. So we need to show up and we need to do the work. Stephen Pressfield, in his book, The War of Art, he says, the more scared we are of a work or calling, the more sure we can be the more sure we can be that we have to do it. It really is, I came across this book while I was doing the research for my book, Style, and he talks a lot about this internal resistance that we feel within us. But when we overcome it, when we step out of our comfort zone, that is when we create our best work. Fear is an indicator, it's telling us what we have to do. So, my question for you is, what fear do you feel right now? What are you putting off? What are you feeling resistance in relation to? What do you really want to achieve, but you are resisting? That is the roadmap to your desires and dreams, and that is also the roadmap to what you're going to achieve success in, because it is something that is personal and important to you. That is why you're feeling that fear. That is why you are feeling that resistance. And as Stephen Pressfield says, we need to, you know, overcome that resistance to create our art, to create our contribution to the world. And the way that we do that is that we go pro, we go professional, we show up even despite the evidence that we can, do it, or that we, all the doubts in our mind. We just show up at our desk or at our workplace or at the canvas or in the home or whatever it is for you. We show up and we do the work. And when we do that repeatedly over time, we will improve. Because as we said earlier, if you want to be good at anything, you've got to do something a lot consistently to improve. It's as simple as that. Quantity times time equals skill. So, whatever you want to achieve, I want you to know that it is possible. We can put so many hurdles in our way. But, it's honestly one of the best lessons that I've learned is that it is it's simple and it is possible. So, I want you to know that this is true for you as well. So, you need to keep doing the work regularly, and keep doing it day after day, because small, consistent actions compound over time to really help you create the life that you want. I'd love to hear from you what's been most valuable about this. I hope that this has helped you, overcome those hurdles within yourself. And remember that we need to take action. We need to go pro. We need to show up every day if we want to improve. It's a simple formula. It's a simple idea, but like I said, it's simple. It's not necessarily easy. We have to overcome that discomfort and show up if we want to make our dreams come true. If you'd like to learn more, come visit nataliewalton.com. I look forward to connecting with you there. Thank you.